welcome to How to Minecraft, a series where I basically tell you how to get started in Minecraft Pocket Edition. Now, as you guys know, Minecraft Pocket Edition is very different from PC. Now, you may know that I believe Jerome ASF and Major Canadian stuff did a How to Minecraft series. Now, I haven't watched it, so I don't really know particularly what they did. But I heard it was like a survival-based series, but this is going to be different than that. It's going to show you like how to get your option screen set up, how to get you going in Minecraft Pocket Edition. I don't know if we're going to get into an actual world or not, but we'll see in the future. So why don't we go ahead and get started with setting up your options menu for your preferences. So the first thing is the name. Now you can set this to anything you want. For me, it's World of Gaming YT because that's my YouTube channel username. But for you, you can set it to whatever you want. So if you want to set it to, let's say, Bob underscore, then you can set it to Bob underscore, and that will be your username in single player. Now, it's different from multiplayer servers. Now, for multiplayer servers, it has to be in a name that hasn't already been taken on that server. Now, if that happens, where you choose a username on a server that was already taken, you cannot use that username, meaning you will have to change your username. That's the only time where you won't be able to randomly choose names, which would be on servers. But other than that, you can set your username to whatever you like. So that is the name thing in the options. Now is the sound volume. You can go make your sound volume low. You can make it like a quarter, a half. You basically just have all the different options on the sound volume. It doesn't like have a limit like the difficulty or third person view, which I will show you in a bit. But that is the sound volume. You can just basically set it to whatever you want. That's just the in-game sound, like the clicking sounds, like all of this. Now the reason why you don't hear it is because my actual volume is turned down. But so the sound volume is just if you have your volume all the way up on your device and you just want to set the sound for Minecraft. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the difficulty. So as you can see, there are 4 different types of difficulty. This is the easiest difficulty, meaning peaceful, at this setting, and then at this setting is the hardest. Now these two are the medium, meaning this one is easy. This one, I don't really know how to explain this one, but this one would be an option, and then this one. So these two would be the hardest, and these two would be the easiest, and then that would just be peaceful. So yeah, this would be the first option if you want mobs to spawn, but this would be peaceful. So yeah, that is the difficulty option. Now the third person view option, I can only technically show you that in game, so I'll skip over that for now. Now let's go ahead and switch over to multiplayer game or broadcast the LAN. So let's start off with, let's say it's default turned off. Now multiplayer game, if you turn it on, means anybody that is connected to the same Wi-Fi as you will be able to connect to your world. Now, if you don't want this, you can disable it, but it will also not allow you to broadcast the LAN, which I will explain now. So, broadcast the LAN means that whoever has your IP and port will be able to connect to your world. So, let's say your port, this is not my actual IP address, but let's say my IP address was 162.192.1.9, then that would be the IP they would put in the external server, and then the port would be whatever your port for your internet is. So that is how you would do it. I'll show you how to set up servers in a little bit. That will still be in this video. But let's go ahead and move on to the second options section. So the next option section is a sensitivity. Now, like I said, this is another in-game one, so I will show you that in the game. Now, most of these options are in-game ones, so I'm kind of just gonna skip over it, except for the keyboard and controller layout. So this is the keyboard layout if you have a keyboard. I do have a keyboard, but I don't know what any of these keyboard layouts mean. But I guess they're just there, you know, if you have different keyboard preferences, I guess. And then this is the controller layout. So the buttons, you can change them if you have a controller and connect it to Minecraft Pocket Edition. Then you're able to change the triggers, the buttons, and all that stuff, and then you can reset it. And then I would just say reset, and then you can save your changes if you have made any changes to the controlling, which is pretty cool. Now you can only do that in this option screen. It will not allow you to change it in game. You have to do it from this options menu. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next option, which is graphics. Once again, this is all mostly related to the game, so why don't we go ahead and head into the game and show you what all of these other options do. Okay, so now that we are in a game, it will be much easier to show off the different options. Now, I'll not be showing you any how-tos on the gameplay just yet, so for now, we are just going to start off with the options. So let's go ahead and click the options and head into this section. So the sensitivity is how fast you move your screen around. So that's my sensitivity now. This is like how fast I am moving my character. But if I go ahead and move it all the way up, I don't know if that worked. The sensitivity thing is a little bit buggy, but it should do for now. Come on. Nope, it's not working. So yeah, sometimes the sensitivity thing can be a little bit iffy. I can't seem to make it work. Come on. Nope. God damn it. Okay, I'm gonna try that, and then whoop. There we go. So yeah, this is the sensitivity now. I'm moving my character super duper fast. It's probably gonna make you all blind. But yeah, that just shows you what sensitivity is how fast you move your character. Now let's see if I'm gonna be able to switch it back. Yes, I am. Alright, cool. And then, like I said, this is the normal sensitivity that I usually like, which is pretty cool. So now let's go ahead and move on to invert y-axis. So what does this do? Well, it inverts the, I guess it just sort of inverts something. I don't know. Oh, it inverts, like, where you move, I think? Yeah, it just inverts where you move. So if you move up, it's like you're moving down, but then if you move down, it's like you're moving up. That's just how it inverts the y-axis. If your let's say your device was a coordinate plane, it would be the invert y-axis. So you'd just be inverting the y-axis, which would be the line going down your tablet or the coordinate plane. So we can go ahead and disable that because I don't really like it. Next up is the lefty. Now this is for helpful if you are a lefty person, or aka writing with your left hand. So you move the controls to the right, and then your up and down or shift buttons to the left. I personally don't like this because I write with my right hand. So, but this is just for people who I guess prefer the controls on opposite sides. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and disable that because I don't really like it. Next up is split controls. Now, most people do not like split controls in Minecraft Pocket Edition. Now, basically, when you don't have split controls on, it has this circle thingy over here, which I guess allows you to do more things at once, which is why most people like it. As you can see, I can, like, break so many blocks and stuff, which is pretty cool. But then, if I go ahead and use split touch, as you can see, I can only break normally one block at a time, or just the side that I'm aiming at, because that's the way split touch works. Split touch, you have to actually aim at the block in order to destroy it, but without split touch, you have to, you can destroy a bunch of blocks at once. This can also affect your PvP skills if you're not that good at aiming. Like this, you have to aim actually with the split touch. If you're not good at aiming, then this setting won't be preferable for you. But as you can see, if I go ahead and do this, I don't have to aim that much. See, as you can see here, I don't really have to aim, but with the split touch, you have to aim. So if you don't have good aiming skills, then I recommend you not use split touch, which is I guess why most people don't like using split touch in Minecraft Pocket Edition. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next option feature, which is the swap, jump, and sneak. So if we go ahead and turn it off, as you can see, our shift button is where the jump button usually was, and the jump button was where the shift button usually was. So yeah, that was the default layout that the developers chose, but then they realized that some people didn't like having the jump button on the other side, so they allowed you to swap the jump and sneak. So yeah, you can enable that if you want to. If you're too used to having the jump button on this side, then you can enable that, and it will switch it back to what Minecraft Pocket Edition normally was before they added the shift button, which is pretty cool. So now let's go ahead and move on to button size. So button size is just like how big your controls are. So that's the smallest one. As you can see, if you have like small fingers, or you're playing on a phone and you want to make the control smaller, then this is for you. And it also decreases your shift button, but this does not affect your hotbar. This does also affect your chat bar as well. That is also smaller. But I'm gonna go ahead and move it back to I think it was on medium, right? Yeah. This looks right for me. Actually, I do a little bit more. that right now. We went back, god damn it. So yeah, these controls are a little bit iffy, I don't know why, but there we go, that's just much better. I don't know why there's a black line on the right button, but I guess that's a bug. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to auto jump. So auto jump basically means you don't have to jump, you will just automatically go up blocks. So as you can see, I'm walking, and then it will just go up for me. But if I go ahead and disable auto jump and go here, as you can see, I won't be going up. I will have to use shift button. So I guess that's why most people like using auto jump, because you don't always have to jump. So I'm going to go ahead and enable that. So next up is the destroy block vibrate. I guess that's if you want vibration. I haven't really tested this feature out yet. Never really knew what it did, but I guess it's there if you like it. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to this one. So this one is pretty obvious. Is the brightness, how dark you want your gameplay to be. So as you can see, it's very dark now. So yeah, as it becomes nighttime, it's gonna become even more darker. But it's all dark and gloomy. But then if we go ahead and higher up the brightness, as you can see, it's a little bit brighter than when it normally was, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's just for your preference, for your device. If you're like in a dark room, then you want to have your brightness on high. But if I guess you're in a very bright room, like sometimes during the midsummer day, and you are in a bright room, then I guess you can lower the brightness if you want to. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the render distance. So the render distance is basically how much chunks you're loading. So if the lowest render distance is will load very little chunks, so you would have to get like up close to the chunk in order to load it. And then of course the highest render distance, it will load the most chunks. Now sometimes there will be medium ones, sometimes there won't be. I guess it depends on like when you load your world and stuff. But there will definitely always be either this one, or this one, but sometimes there will be medium ones, sometimes not. So I'm just going to go ahead and move it to medium. Anyway, next up is the GUI scale. So basically this is like how big you want your screen to be. So if I go ahead and do this one, as you can see, it's a very big. This is preferable for phones. So if you want your GUI to be like this is the one that I think is most preferable for phones, especially ones that are really, really small, or like iPod touches, or some iPhones that are small. This is the touch size I recommend for you. So yeah, I even missed it there because of the GUI. So yeah, and then this is the medium one, which is for like mini tablets, I guess, like iPad minis and stuff. This would be fit for you. This is actually what I used when I had my HP touchpad, which I used to record a while back. This was a good one for that device that I had. But now that I have a better device with a better scale, now I can use this one. I actually like this one a little bit better because it makes everything more spaced out and more clean. So that's why I prefer it. But you can choose whichever one's preferable for your device, whether you have a phone or tablet or iPad mini or something like that. Anyway, this is the FOV. Now, if we go ahead and do that, that's the farthest zooming out. Is this zooming out or zooming in? I can't really tell. But I think this is the farthest zoom out. So yeah, FOV is basically zooming, how far in you're zooming or how far out you're zooming. And if we go ahead and higher it all the way up, then that will be super duper zoomed, I guess it looks like, or something like that. I don't know. I think this is zoom out, and then the other one was zoom in, but I can't really tell with the FOV, probably because it's nighttime. But let's go ahead and move it back to what it was before, which is medium, right over there. Yep, this is the normal, it seems like. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on. So the next one is view bobbing. Now I have no idea what view bobbing does, but I think it has something to do with the sword. So let's go ahead and grab a sword. So as you can see, my sword doesn't move along when I'm moving. It kind of just stays still. But then if I go ahead and enable view bobbing, as you can see, my sword moves around with me. It's not just staying there in one position, and that's why I like it better, because it actually moves along with you. Look at it. It's actually like bouncing as you're bouncing, and it's jumping as you're jumping. So that's kind of why I like it. But some people don't like view bobbing, so you can turn it off if you want. Next up is fancy graphics. Now with fancy graphics on, this is related to trees. Most lower end devices cannot handle fancy graphics, so fancy graphics are mainly for tablets. So that's what I recommend, or like higher end smartphones. So these are what the leaves look like. They are like very you can see through them and stuff. But then if you don't have fancy graphics on, then they are just plain leaves, which is why most devices are able to have this. Is if you have fancy graphics off, this will actually increase your performance if you don't already have good performance. So if you're looking for a higher FPS, then I recommend you turn off fancy graphics. But if you have a tablet like me that can handle it, then I recommend turning off fancy graphics because, in my opinion, it looks much better. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to beautiful skies. Now if we turn this off, there is no sun and no moon. Looks kind of plain, doesn't it? So let's go ahead and turn that back on so we can have all the stars and the moons and the clouds and all that fun stuff. So yeah, that's just if you're, like I said, your device can't handle it, or you just don't like it. But like I said, personally, I like it. So yeah, and then animated water. So this is what the water looks like now. And then if we go ahead and turn off animated water, I guess it will just be plain. It won't be like moving and stuff like it normally is. And then if we go ahead and turn it back on, as you can see, it's all flowing again and stuff, which is pretty cool. So yeah, now the next option is the hide GUI. Just basically hide your whole thing. This is what I use for taking screenshots and all that stuff for my thumbnails for YouTube. So yeah, this is what a lot of YouTubers do to take screenshots without the GUI showing. If you were wondering this, then yeah, this is what they use. They use GUI. Now, you may be like, how are you moving? Well, I've memorized where the controls are by now. So, that is how I'm able to move with the hide GUI. So, yeah. Calling myself a Minecraft professional here. Not really, though. But, yeah. And then if you want to disable it, all you gotta do is head back into the options and disable it. And then you'll be good to go. So most people don't use that as a permanent thing, though. So, yeah, it's usually if you want to take a screenshot of something and you don't want all your items and the controls in the way, then that's the thing for you. But yeah, no, I said I was going to get into external servers today, but it looks like we're not going to get to that. Excuse me. But yeah. Anyways, that was the first episode of How to Minecraft. I hope you enjoyed. If you have, a rating would be super very much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for daily Minecraft Pocket Edition content. Make sure you leave a like if you want to see another episode. And I will see you all next time.